Consider, if you will, the nature of a river. When you sit by the bank of a rushing stream, watching the water cascade over the stones, you do not say that the water is making a mistake because it crashes against a rock. You do not look at the foam and the swirling eddies and say, "Oh, how unfortunate, the river has been blocked. It is failing in its duty to reach the ocean." You simply watch it flow. You understand quite intuitively that the shape of the river is the shape of its path, including every stone, every bend, every fallen branch that alters its course. The river does not groan. It does not argue with the terrain. It simply yields, and in yielding, it overcomes. And yet, when you look at the timeline of your own life, you treat it with a completely different logic. You have this peculiar idea in your head, a very distinct geometric hallucination that your life ought to be a straight line. You feel that you should be able to move from point A to point B without friction, without interruption, and certainly without failure. And when an obstacle appears, a sudden illness, a lost fortune, a betrayal, a global calamity, you stop, you freeze. You look at this event and you say, "This should not be happening. This is an error in the universe. This is a barrier." But you see, this is where the great joke lies. This is the fundamental confusion that causes all your distress. You are under the impression that the obstacle is something standing in the way of your life. But the truth, the ancient truth that we so often forget, is that the obstacle is your life. There is no other life waiting for you around the corner of that problem. There is no perfect scenario that you are missing out on because you are dealing with this difficulty. This moment, this struggle, this very knot you are trying to untie, this is it. This is the universe playing itself out in the form of you. Now, let us go deeper into this. Why do we perceive the obstacle as an enemy? Why does the mind recoil and tense up when things do not go according to plan? It is because we are bewitched by the illusion of control. We play a game with ourselves where we pretend to be the grand architects of reality. We draw maps in our minds, maps of how our career should go, how our children should behave, how the state should be run. And these maps are very clean, very logical. They have straight lines. But the territory, the actual pulsating organic reality of the world, is not a map. It is a wilderness. It is a jagged, beautiful, chaotic mess. When the territory contradicts your map, you get angry. You blame the territory. You scream at the mountain for being steep. You curse the rain for being wet. Do you see how absurd that is? You are arguing with the nature of existence itself. You are demanding that the cosmos rearrange its atoms to suit your personal preference. The Stoic wisdom, which is really just a sanity check for the human soul, invites you to flip this perspective entirely. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to see that the event itself is neutral. The rock in the road is not bad, it is just a rock. It has no malice, it has no agenda. It is simply matter, resting in its place according to the laws of nature. The badness, the frustration, the anxiety, that does not exist out there in the world. That exists entirely within you. It is a judgment you manufacture. It is a story you tell yourself about how the rock shouldn't be there. If you can stop telling that story even for a moment, the barrier dissolves. The physical rock remains, yes, the difficulty of the task remains, but the suffering vanishes. Because now you are no longer fighting reality. You are no longer wasting your energy trying to push back against the inevitable. You are free to move. You are free to act. And this brings us to the most fascinating paradox of all. The moment you accept the obstacle, the moment you stop resenting it, it transforms. It ceases to be a dead end and becomes a forge. Think of a fire. A blazing fire does not resent the wood you throw into it. It does not say, "Oh no, more fuel, how heavy, how burdensome." No, it consumes it. It wraps itself around the log and turns it into heat, into light, into flame. The obstacle is the fuel. Your spirit is the fire. Without the wood, the fire dies. Without the obstacle, without the resistance, the human spirit has nothing to burn, nothing to work on, no way to realize its own power. So when you find your path blocked, do not turn back, do not pity yourself. This is the raw material you have been given. This is the clay. The universe has placed this heavy weight in your hands not to crush you, but to anchor you, to demand that you wake up and pay attention. Most of us walk through life half asleep. We are sleepwalking through our comforts, drifting through our routines. It is only when the routine breaks, only when the plan falls apart, that we suddenly snap awake. Oh, I am here. This is happening. I must respond. The obstacle demands presence. You cannot navigate a storm while daydreaming. You cannot climb a mountain while looking at your phone. You must be here. In this sense, the obstacle is a great teacher. It is a Zen master with a heavy stick whacking you on the shoulder to say, "Wake up, look at what is in front of you." It forces you to abandon your fantasies of the future and engage with the immediate, vibrating reality of the now. And what you find when you finally engage with it is that you are capable of things you never imagined. You find that you are not the fragile little ego you thought you were. You are something much more resilient. You are like the water. You can flow, you can crash, you can erode the stone. But you cannot do any of this as long as you are standing on the bank screaming at the river to stop flowing. You must jump in. You must get wet. You must understand that the you who is afraid of the obstacle is just a ghost, a bundle of memories and anxieties. The real you, the you that is woven into the fabric of nature, is perfectly equipped to handle exactly what is happening right now, because in a very deep sense, what is happening is you. Now, let us pause there and look at this you. Who is this person who feels blocked? Who is this entity that feels so separate from the world that it perceives the world as a threat? We have this sensation of being a lonely agent, a little eye inside the skull looking out at an alien universe. We feel that we come into this world. But you didn't come into this world. You came out of it. You are an expression of the total process. You are a wave on the ocean of the cosmos. Now, does a wave look at the wind and say, "You are blocking me"? No. The wave exists because of the resistance. If there were no resistance, there would be no wave. There would only be a flat, stagnant mirror.
Your life is the wave. The obstacles, the gravity, the wind, the shore, these are the forces that give you shape. Without them, you have no definition. Without the limitations of your body, the limitations of your time, the limitations of your circumstances, you would not be a person. You would be a nothingness. So the very things you resent, the very boundaries you are trying to escape, are the things that define your existence. To wish them away is to wish yourself away. To pray for a life without obstacles is to pray for non-existence. It is a desire for death, dressed up as a desire for comfort. Let us go deeper into this feeling of being blocked. Who is it exactly that is being blocked? We have this very peculiar sensation, a sensation that is socially conditioned into us from the moment we are born, that inside this bag of skin there is a little entity called I. You imagine this I as a sort of chauffeur sitting behind your eyes, between your ears, clutching the steering wheel of the body, frantically looking at the road, trying to manage the traffic of existence. This little chauffeur is obsessed with one thing: control. It wants the road to be straight. It wants the weather to be clear. It wants the other drivers to behave. And when the universe throws a landslide in the middle of the highway, the little chauffeur has a nervous breakdown. He grips the wheel until his knuckles turn white. He screams, "This wasn't in the brochure. I did not sign up for this." But here is the great secret, the cosmic joke that the Stoics and the mystics had been whispering for centuries. There is no chauffeur. You do not control your life in the way you think you do. Consider this. Do you control the beating of your heart? Do you consciously command your stomach to secrete enzymes to digest your dinner? Do you know how to grow your hair? Do you know how to knit your broken bones back together? Of course not. It happens of itself. The great intelligence of nature is doing it through you. You are not the boss of this process. You are the result of it. So, if you cannot even control the basic biological functions of your own organism, what makes you think you can or should control the external world? What makes you think you can dictate the economy, the moods of your spouse, or the turning of the tides? The suffering you feel in the face of an obstacle is not caused by the obstacle itself. It is caused by the friction between the reality of what is happening and your hallucination of how it should happen. You are trying to force the square peg of reality into the round hole of your ego's expectations, and because it won't fit, you feel broken. Now, does this mean we simply give up? Does the Stoic acceptance of the obstacle mean we become limp, passive vegetables? Absolute not. This is the subtle art that the ancients called action through non-action. Think of a sailor. A sailor does not control the wind. He cannot scream at the wind to change direction. If he fights the wind, his sails will rip and his boat will capsize. But he does not sit there and do nothing either. He uses the wind, he tacks, he adjusts the sails to catch the energy of the storm and use it to propel him forward. The wind is the obstacle, but the wind is also the power. The obstacle in your path acts the same way. It is energy, pure, raw energy. When you stop resisting it with your ego, when you stop crying, "Why me?" you can begin to act like the sailor. You can use the momentum of the difficulty to take you somewhere you could never have gone on a calm day. Imagine you are swimming in a rough river. If you panic and try to swim upstream against the current, you will drown. You will exhaust yourself fighting the water. But if you turn with the current, if you use your intelligence to navigate the rocks while letting the river carry you, you become faster than the river itself. This requires a shift in identity. You must stop thinking of yourself as a static object that needs to be protected and start thinking of yourself as a fluid process. Water is the perfect teacher here. Marcus Aurelius often meditated on nature, and water is nature's greatest stoic. When water meets a rock, it does not get angry. It does not stop. It flows around. If the rock is too large, the water rises until it flows over. If there is a crack, the water goes through. And over time, the soft, yielding water wears down the hard, rigid stone. The rock is rigid. That is why it crumbles. The water is soft. That is why it endures. Your ego wants to be the rock. It wants to stand firm and shout, "I am right, the world is wrong." But if you do that, life will break you. The obstacle will crush you. Instead, be the water. Look at the problem before you. Do not judge it. Do not label it bad or unfair. Just look at it. Ask, what does this situation require of me? Does it require patience? Does it require a new skill? Does it require me to let go of an old attachment? When you ask these questions, you turn the barrier into a door. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a student of reality.
And you will find, quite surprisingly, that the bad things in life often produce the deepest goods. We have a very short-sighted view of cause and effect. We think we know what is good for us, but we don't. The job you lost might be the removal of a cage you didn't know you were in. The illness that strikes you might be the only thing that could force you to slow down and taste the sweetness of a single breath. We are always trying to get to the good part of life, skipping over the bad parts. But life is not a sandwich where you pick out the tasty bits and throw away the crust. It is a whole. The joy and the sorrow, the ease and the struggle, they imply each other. They need each other. You cannot have the sensation of triumph without the reality of the struggle.
You cannot feel the relief of rest without the exhaustion of labor. To reject the obstacle is to reject the very texture of existence. So, the next time you feel that tightness in your chest, that resistance rising up because things aren't going your way, catch yourself. Laugh at yourself gently. Say, "Ah, there goes the little chauffeur again, trying to steer the galaxy." Step back from the control deck. Let the universe drive for a moment. Trust that the obstacle is not a mistake. It is the raw material for the masterpiece you are unknowingly creating. Now, if we look closely at this suffering, this tightness you feel when you face a barrier, we find another element. It is not just the desire for control. It is the crushing weight of time. Marcus Aurelius once wrote a note to himself, perhaps by candlelight in a tent on the front lines. He said, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." He understood something that we have completely forgotten. We are not crushed by the burden of the now. We are crushed by the burden of the future. When you encounter an obstacle, let's say a financial crisis or a difficult breakup, you do not just experience the event itself. You immediately project a phantom movie onto the screen of your mind. You see yourself a year from now destitute. You see yourself 10 years from now lonely and unloved. You take the pain of a single moment and you multiply it by eternity. You are trying to solve problems that do not yet exist. You are fighting ghosts. And because they are ghosts, because they are phantoms of your imagination, you cannot defeat them. You cannot strangle a ghost. So you feel helpless. You feel paralyzed. But let's play a game. Let's conduct an experiment right here, right now. I want you to withdraw your mind from tomorrow. Pull it back from next week. Pull it back from 5 minutes from now. Come all the way back to this exact second. In this precise moment, is there anything you cannot endure? You're breathing. Your heart is beating. The floor is holding you up. There is no monster devouring you. The unbearable nature of the obstacle vanishes when you stop stretching it out over a timeline. The Zen masters have a wonderful way of putting this. They say, when you walk, just walk. When you eat, just eat. When you have a problem, just have the problem. Don't have the problem plus the story of how this problem will ruin your life. Just handle the raw data. If the tire is flat, change the tire. Do not write a tragedy about how the flat tire proves the universe is conspiring against your tire. The universe is too busy exploding stars and spinning galaxies to conspire against your tire. This brings us to a fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of life itself. We have been bamboozled by our culture into thinking of life as a journey, a pilgrimage, or a race. We think of life as a straight line. You go to kindergarten to get to first grade. You go to first grade to get to high school, then university, then the job, then the promotion, then retirement. And we think the success is getting to the end of the line. But if the point of the journey were simply to arrive at the destination, then the most successful people would be the ones who got to the grave the fastest. But that is absurd, isn't it? We must realize that existence is not a journey to a destination. It is a musical thing. It is a dance. When you listen to a symphony, you do not listen just to hear the final crash of the cymbals. The point of the music is not the end. The point of the music is the music. It is the unfolding of the melody in the present moment. If the goal were just to finish, the best conductor would be the one who played the symphony fastest. Your life is a piece of music, and in any great piece of music, there must be variance. There must be high notes and low notes. There must be tempo and pause, and crucially, there must be tension. In music theory, you have dissonance and resolution. The obstacle, the struggle, the pain, the resistance, that is the dissonance, that is the tension. Without it, the resolution has no sweetness. If the music was just one happy, high-pitched note playing forever, you would go insane. It would be noise, not art. You need the bass notes. You need the dark, rumbling chords of difficulty to give the melody its depth, its gravity, its soul.
So, when the obstacle appears, do not view it as an interruption to the music. It is the music. It is the movement where the symphony gets interesting. It is the part where the hero is tested, where the character is forged. A sculptor does not complain that the marble is hard. The hardness of the marble is exactly what makes the statue possible. If the stone were soft like pudding, the form would collapse. The resistance of the material allows the art to exist. Your life is the marble. The obstacles are the grain of the stone, and you, the real you, the deep spirit behind the ego, you are the sculptor.
When you stop fighting the grain, when you stop wishing the stone was made of cheese, you begin to work with the resistance. You chip away the fear, you chip away the anxiety, and slowly, form emerges from chaos. You look back at the hardest years of your life, the years you thought would kill you, and you realize something strange. You are proud of them. You don't tell stories about the easy days when you sat on the couch eating grapes. You tell stories about the storms. You tell stories about the times you fell down and got back up. Why? Because deep down, you know the truth. You know that the obstacle didn't block the path. The obstacle forced you to find the path. It forced you to wake up from the sleep of comfort and become who you were meant to be. So, do not pray for an easy life. That is a prayer for a boring song. Pray for the strength to dance to a difficult rhythm. Pray for the eyes to see that the wall in front of you is not a dead end, but a stepping stone. We are terrified of the dark, but it is the dark soil that feeds the seed. It is the friction of the air that allows the bird to fly. Stop holding your breath, waiting for the struggle to end so you can finally be happy. That day will never come. Happiness is not a destination at the end of the timeline. Happiness is the skill of surfing the waves of the now, even when the water is cold, even when the tide is high. And so, we arrive at the final turning of the wheel. We arrive at the point where the distinction between the I who suffers and the world that causes suffering begins to dissolve completely. When you truly see that the obstacle is the way, a profound silence settles over the noise of your mind. You stop looking for an exit strategy. You stop waiting for the real part of your life to begin. You realize that the universe makes no mistakes. It is not clumsy. It is not careless. It has not accidentally dropped a boulder on your path while looking the other way. Everything is weaving together. The loom of nature weaves the light and the dark, the smooth and the rough, into a single, seamless fabric. You cannot pick at the threads you dislike without unraveling the whole cloth. To say yes to your joy, you must say yes to your struggle. They are the same movement. They are the inhalation and exhalation of God. This brings us to the highest form of courage. It is not the courage of gritted teeth and clenched fists. It is the courage of amor fati, the love of one's fate. Notice I said love, not merely tolerance. To tolerate your fate is to be a slave who grudgingly obeys a cruel master. But to love your fate is to realize that you are the master. You realize that at the deepest level, the level far below your conscious ego, you have chosen this. You are the universe experiencing itself, and for reasons that the little mind cannot comprehend, you have chosen this specific challenge, this specific heartbreak, this specific limit as the stage for your dance. Why? Because without it, you would remain asleep, and the universe desires to be awake. So, when the wall looms up before you, do not ask for it to be moved. Do not beg for a lighter load. Instead, ask for a stronger back. Ask for a clearer eye. Step forward and press your hand against the cold, rough stone of your problem. Feel its texture, respect its reality, and then move with it. If the path goes up, you climb. If the path goes down, you descend. If the path ends, you stop and build a new way. You do not argue with the geography. You become the water that fills the cup, the water that flows around the rock, the water that eventually wears the rock down to sand. You are not a victim of the world. You are the world. Look at your hands. Look at the space around you. Listen to the silence beneath these words. There is no separation. The obstacle is not out there. It is appearing within the field of your consciousness. It is made of the same stuff as your thoughts, the same stuff as your dreams, the same stuff as the stars. It is all a play. It is a divine game of hide and seek. You hide from yourself by pretending to be a frightened little creature facing a hostile giant. But when you finally stop running, when you turn around and face the giant, you see that it wears your own face. You see that the barrier was a mirror. So, go now. Go back into your life. But do not go back as the sleepwalker you were. When the traffic stops, do not rage. Sit in the stillness and watch the world breathe. When the project fails, do not despair. Look at the rubble and see the foundation for a temple you haven't yet imagined. When the grief comes, do not close your heart. Let it break open, for only a broken heart is open enough to hold the whole universe. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. There is nowhere else to be. There is nothing else to do. You are exactly where you need to be. You are the path. You are the walker. You are the destination. Walk on.